Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're looking at biology, but not just as a dusty science subject. We're looking at it as an epic, high-stakes story of invasion, and ultimately, the ultimate biological counterattack. We're talking about the fortress that is your body, and the relentless, entirely invisible invaders constantly trying to breach its walls. Literally, it's a battle happening inside you right this very second.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our battle plan for today. 1. Meet the microscopic invaders. 2. Your body's natural defenses. 3. Society's invisible shields. 4. Building long-term immunity. And 5. We'll wrap up with a cholera case study.
Section 1. Meet the microscopic invaders.
The truth is, you're completely surrounded. Right now, every single day, on literally every surface you touch and in the very air you're breathing, there's this hidden world of microscopic threats just waiting for an opportunity. So let's define exactly what we're fighting against here. A pathogen is a disease-causing organism. We're talking viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasitic worms. And crucially, these guys aren't just passive hitchhikers. Pathogens actively cause damage to your cells. They completely disrupt your normal tissue functions. And that right there is what gives rise to those absolutely miserable symptoms you feel when you're sick, because they trigger an all-out immune response in the host, which in this case is you. So, how does this actually translate into disease transmission? Well, pathogens spread through either direct or indirect contact. Direct contact is exactly what it sounds like. It's the transfer of pathogens straight into your bloodstream or through bodily fluids, like through shared needles or sexual intercourse. But indirect contact? That is your everyday life. That's pathogens transferring via contaminated surfaces, or those tiny liquid droplets suspended in the air long after someone sneezes or coughs near you, or, and this is a super fun one to think about while you're eating lunch, houseflies. They can actually transfer bacteria from decaying food or feces directly onto your fresh, delicious food using their feet and mouth parts. Gross, right? But it happens all the time.
Section 2. Your body's natural defenses.
But hey, don't panic just yet. While pathogens are absolutely everywhere, your body is a literal masterpiece of engineering perfectly designed to fight back. And this brilliantly illustrates how your defenses are layered. Think about your outer epidermis, your skin. It isn't just holding you together. It's a massive, impenetrable physical wall preventing entry. Then, inside your nose, you've got hairs acting as a primary filter against airborne junk. Down in your trachea and bronchi, you have this sticky layer of mucus perfectly designed to trap pathogens, while these tiny ciliated cells act like little brooms, constantly sweeping that contaminated mucus up and away from your lungs. And if anything actually manages to breach those physical walls, well, your white blood cells are the elite infantry waiting right there in your blood and tissues to attack. But I've got to say, my absolute favorite defense mechanism is located right in your gut. Your stomach lining secretes gastric juice that contains actual hydrochloric acid. I mean, just think about the visceral reality of that for a second. You have a pool of highly corrosive acid sitting inside you, acting as a lethal chemical moat to kill off the vast majority of any bacteria you might accidentally swallow with your meals. It's a harsh but incredibly effective biological defense.
Section 3. Society's invisible shields.
Now, our personal biology isn't our only line of defense. As a society, humans have engineered these massive, macro-level defenses to limit highly transmissible diseases before they even get a chance to reach our skin. We basically map everyday threats to collective defense strategies. Raw sewage? Yeah, it's kept strictly away from our drinking water, which is then treated through intense filtration and chlorination to kill off pathogens. Raw meat in your kitchen? We use separate cutting boards and ensure thorough cooking to avoid food poisoning. Even something as incredibly simple as having a strong, tight-fitting lid on your trash bin is a critical societal control measure. It stops flies and vermin from breeding on rotting waste and spreading pathogens around your neighborhood. You see, these aren't just annoying household chores. They're the invisible shields protecting our entire communities.
Speaking of the kitchen, let me ask you a question directly. Why should you never warm up previously cooked food? We all deal with leftovers, right? But why is this specific, common habit a genuine biological risk?
Well, here is the surprising answer. Raising the temperature of previously cooked food can actually cause any surviving bacteria to proliferate rapidly. You might think, oh, heating it up makes it safer. But if it doesn't get hot enough to completely destroy them, you're really just creating a cozy, warm incubator for pathogens to multiply right before you eat them. Temperature control is quite literally a matter of life and health.
Section 4. Building long-term immunity.
So what happens when those societal shields and physical barriers fail? Well, your body mounts a targeted counterattack. So the crucial point here is understanding the fundamental difference between active and passive immunity. Active immunity is your long-term security. That's when your own body produces antibodies against the pathogen. Crucially, it creates memory cells. So if that exact same invader ever returns, your body remembers exactly how to crush it instantly. Passive immunity, on the flip side, is a short-term defense. It's when you acquire antibodies from someone else, like a newborn baby receiving them from its mother via the placenta or breast milk. It beautifully protects the infant while their own immune system develops, but because no memory cells are produced, that protection eventually fades.
So how does active immunity actually work in practice? It comes down to breathtaking precision. Your white blood cells, specifically the lymphocytes, produce specifically shaped antibodies. Now, these are perfectly complementary to just one kind of pathogen's antigen. It's literally like a key fitting perfectly into a very specific lock. Once they bind, these antibodies either destroy the pathogen directly, or they paint a huge target on it, marking it so other white blood cells, called phagocytes, can easily locate and ingest the invader. It's an incredible system.
And this beautiful, precise mechanism is exactly what modern medicine leverages for vaccines. Let's walk through how vaccination works. Step 1. A weakened pathogen, or even just its antigens, is introduced into your body by an injection or swallowing. Step 2. Your lymphocytes recognize the threat and spring right into action, producing the appropriate antibodies. In Step 3, those all-important memory cells remain in your system. What's happening is science is safely mimicking an invasion. Your body builds its long-term active immune defenses without you ever having to risk suffering the severe symptoms or deadly consequences of the actual disease.
Section 5. Cholera, a case study.
To really see all of these concepts crash together, we're going to look at our final boss for this explainer. Let's trace the terrifying step-by-step cascade of a cholera infection. Step 1. The bacteria are ingested, almost always through a contaminated water supply where those societal defenses we talked about have failed. Step 2. The bacteria reproduce and release toxins that severely irritate your intestinal lining. Step 3. This irritation causes the secretion of large quantities of water and salts, including chloride ions. And because of osmosis, those ions drop massive amounts of water right out of your tissues and straight into the gut. Step 4. The result is catastrophic. We're talking severe diarrhea, profound dehydration, and if left untreated, it can quickly lead to kidney failure and even death. The pathogen effectively hijacks your body's own process of osmosis just to drain you.
But we do know how to fight back when societal water treatments fail and the pathogen breaches those natural defenses. Defeating cholera requires immediate, very specific medical intervention. The absolute priority is intravenous rehydration and the rapid replacement of those lost salts to stop the dehydration cascade in its tracks. Only then are antibiotics administered to hunt down and kill the offending bacteria once and for all.
Wow, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today. From the hydrochloric acid sloshing around in your stomach right now, to the massive water chlorination plants protecting our cities, we are locked in a constant hidden war for survival from the micro to the macro level. So I'll leave you with this question. From the inside out, is your fortress ready for the next microscopic invader? Keep washing those hands, keep feeding your curiosity, and I will see you in the next explainer.